Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. In this video, we're going to explain to you guys why you might be experiencing shoulder pain on your serves, and if you're just starting, how you can make sure that you avoid developing such shoulder pain. So let's get right into it. The first reason why you might have shoulder pain is obviously because you're putting too much strain on your shoulder. Now, obviously we're talking about a right shoulder on a right-handed player, right, and the left shoulder on a left-handed player. Same thing applies to both. So how are you putting too much strain on your shoulder, and why do other people not experience that same type of pain? Obviously, part of it is genetics. You know, some people just are more prone to developing this kind of pain, and other people are not. But there's one specific difference as to why most professionals don't develop the same type of shoulder pain that you will see in amateur players. And that is simply that professionals do not flex their shoulder. They're not using their shoulder actively to hit the tennis ball on their serves. So what are they doing instead? Well, they're letting the upper body pull the shoulder. So that means now we're not trying to actually actively push with the shoulder, but the shoulder just gets stretched because the shoulder gets pulled by the upper body rotating so fast. So that means, as a consequence of that, there's just going to be an immense stretch on the shoulder, which then cannot put that much strain on it, because you can probably imagine if you move very fast, there's a lot of flexibility involved. Your body will handle with it very well, because all you're doing is you're stretching it and releasing that stretch again, instead of actually pushing actively with these muscles and, putting a lot of stress on a very small muscle group in your body. Now, looking at the whole thing from the side, how does it actually look when you're using your shoulder too much on your serves? So when you're serving and your shoulder is too involved in the service motion, what usually happens is, as soon as the racket starts dropping, you start pushing your shoulder up towards the contact point, and you're really trying to make sure that the right shoulder pulls your arm up and accelerates the ball. Now, a professional tennis player that knows what they're doing and that doesn't, develop any shoulder pain, they approach this a little bit differently. When they're serving, the shoulder actually never moves first, but instead you're rotating up here as fast as you can, and you can see the more I turn this way, I'm not doing anything with my shoulder actively, but the more I turn this way, the more my right shoulder actually gets dragged up and forward. So that means if my shoulder does nothing, it will still move. And the faster I turn here, the more my arm will stay in the back, and the more stretch you will feel across your shoulder. So that means that this stretch, all it does is it straightens out the muscle. It puts it in a natural state, just pulls it a little bit further, instead of squeezing it together and flexing it. That's why when the tension gets too big, it will just release, and the racket will release towards the contact point, and you won't feel any pain. So as you can see here, the solution to your shoulder pain, or to, avoiding shoulder pain in the future, is to make sure that your upper body rotates first and drags the shoulder and the arm and the forearm and the wrist and the racket, obviously in that order, towards the contact point in the process. So we're taking a look at it in a full speed motion. You will see that my shoulder does not actively move upwards. And after showing this serve, we're going to show it to you in slow motion as well. One more time. Now here you can clearly see how the upper body, once the racket gets in the trophy position, pulls forward first and pulls the shoulder and the arm with it, because they're obviously connected. So that means the shoulder does not actively do a lot of work here, but the upper body does instead.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.